Hello everyone, Vernon McCarty here, the Financial Makeover Specialist. I work with families to create power and freedom in their finances and in their lives. Making this video today to talk to you a little bit about a structure that we're all familiar with, RRSPs, with a little s there. Now I know what you're thinking, oh, this guy's going to tell me how great these are. Actually, no. So yes, I do deal with RRSPs. I help clients set up portfolios inside their RRSPs. But I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit today about fees, which everyone seems to be really turned on about. Fees is a big topic of conversation. We're also going to talk about taxes. So the whole idea here, guys, is really to get real with you and to help you create power and freedom. At the end of the day, what happens is we get involved in certain types of investments or certain types of insurance or certain types of whatever, even homes. We buy houses and we don't fully understand what we're buying. So it's unfortunate it happens, but that's my mission in life. We're going to make a difference with this thing. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about fees. There's something called an MER. That stands for Management Expense Ratio. Now you got these big fancy fat cats who manage the portfolios inside the RRSPs. The RRSP, by the way, is the vehicle, right? The mutual fund or the segregated fund or the stock or whatever, the mortgage that you invest in, that you buy, that's what goes into the vehicle. Does that make sense? So just like this, the RRSP is the vehicle, and then we put investments inside the vehicle, okay? Now, MER, Management Expense Ratio, I'm just going to pull a number out here. Let's say 2.5%. Oops, 2.5%. Okay, you're going to pay a management expense ratio. Now you can get savvy and you can find these online platforms where you can invest. I don't really trust them myself. They're always talking about lower fees and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, inside the management expense ratio, what people don't understand is that you're actually getting, now whether or not they're good, I can't promise that, but you're getting pro management, okay? Professional management, fund managers, okay? I think you're paying about 1-ish or 1.25% for that kind of thing. You're also going to get admin, right? So we need to administer the fees and all that, or the trades and all that kind of stuff, but that's only about 25 basis points, so 0.15%, okay? And then of course the advisor is going to get, I don't know, 1%, but they have to split that with their dealer, their brokerage. So usually the advisor will only get about 50% or a half a percent or maybe 0.75. Okay? Now, your advisor is supposed to be the one who's adding value to you and you're paying for that, okay? So what does the advisor bring? Your advisor should be bringing financial support. If you've got a good plan, then that means that if you get fired from your job or you're going to go retire, we're going to help you make sure that you have enough cash put away to live a high quality life until the day you die. That's the goal of the financial advisor. Help you deal with your debt, help you deal with your cash flow management. If they're not providing full service, you may as well start looking around. They're also going to give you, there's a few things here, but they're going to give you a sober second thought. Okay, what do I mean by that? I don't know, have you ever gotten emotional and got really excited about a deal you saw on TV and you wanted to go on a vacation, or maybe you wanted to buy something? I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying, look, if you're going to cash in some investments or you're going to go off course with your plan, then we have a quick conversation. Maybe you'll see the value in continuing to keep the money there, right? Working for you. So you're going to get obviously advice, right? Someone who can listen to you and help you create your long-term plan. Now there's a whole plethora of other things that go along with the value that your advisor should be adding for you, but that just gives you some examples, okay? I want to get to the point of this. And yes, with an RSP, we know that our friend, the tax man, is going to come a-knocking and they want to get their cash at some point. So you're going to have to start taking money out of your RSP right before your 72nd birthday. If you can hold off that long, that's great, because you're going to get more value, more growth between age 65 and 72 than you will basically the rest of the time before that, from age 30 to 65, because of the compound interest, right? But they're going to start asking you to take money out of that. You have to put your money into a RIF. That's a retirement income RIF, registered retirement income fund. Okay? At age 72, you have to do a RIF. So they're going to start asking you to take money out of that because they want you to, well, I say they want you to pay your taxes, but basically why else would they make you take the money out of a tax sheltered environment, right? So you have to start taking money out of your RRSP at that time, or your RIF, and you're going to pay tax on every dollar you pull out of there. So here's where I usually differ from most advisors. Most advisors are going to tell you, in the banks and the government, everyone's going to tell you, put every dollar you possibly can. You got to max out your RRSPs. You got to max out your RRSPs and build a huge amount of cash in there so that you can live until you die with your retirement plan. Well, here's the thing. If you think about it, if they tax you on every single dollar that you take out, if you had $4 million, $8 million, I get that that's a lot of money, but my point is, if you have a whole schwack of cash stuck in your RSP, eventually you're going to have to start taking out 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. There's a schedule that dictates how much you have to take out from age 72 till death of your overall portfolio. Well, if your money in your RSP is very, very high, you're going to pay really high tax, right? Isn't the point of retirement planning to try and become more tax efficient and figure out other ways that you can maximize income opportunities? So I'm not getting into that right now in this video, because you have tax-free savings accounts, you might have some business opportunities, maybe you got some real estate that you could look at, different income streams. You can even leverage life insurance policies, which maybe one day I'll make a video about that too. But there are different types of life insurance policies that will build cash value inside of them, and you can leverage them and get really tax-efficient income. That's not really what this video is about. At the end of the day, what this video is about is getting you present to analysis paralysis. Because what people focus on is the negatives, right? They focus on the MER, right? They focus on, so that's the fees. They focus on the taxes, and they're focusing on, oh, here's a good one. What is my return, right? What's the best thing that I can invest in and get the best return, Vern? You know what? I wish I could tell you that. But here's the thing. You just got to take action, guys. That's, at the end of the day, you're going to get analysis paralysis. You're going to be thinking about all these different things. What's my rate of return? What's the fees look like? What are the taxes? And what are you doing that whole time when you're thinking about all that? The answer is probably nothing, right? And you're losing valuable time. I'm not telling you that this is the best strategy. What I'm telling you is it's a strategy, and you got to get in action. You got to get in the game. You'll get used to investing. You'll get used to putting money away. You'll be growing your portfolio and your net worth regardless of what's happening in the market. And the more you do, the more actions you take, the more opportunities are going to show up for you to grow your wealth. What this is right here, guys, is the foundation. You cannot, watch my drawing, oh dear. You can't build a house. Here, we'll put a little window in there and a door. You can't build a house without a solid foundation. So you got to do something. You got to take action. So RRSPs is a good place to start. My strategy usually looks like this. Let's say, usually the earliest as you can, the better. But people start getting around doing this stuff when they're around age 30. From age 30 to age, let's say 50 or 55, I would actually be putting as much money as I can into the RSP, okay? Because you're going to take advantage of the upfront tax break. You're going to get about 30 cents on every dollar that you put in as a reduction in your income. So usually that increases your tax return. So if you get $1,000, there's no room on here anymore. I get that, guys, but bear with me. If you normally get $1,000 as a return at tax time, well now, and you put $10,000 into an RSP this year, it's really small. You put $10,000 in the RSP, all of a sudden, guess what? Now you're going to have $4,000, $4K as a tax return. What could you do with that 4K? It's about using the structures, using inside the rules, right? Working with it. What are you going to do with $4,000 now? Because now you've got $10,000 in your RSP plus the growth, and you've got a return of an extra $3,000 that you could use toward going on a vacation, or putting it back into your RSP, or paying off some debt, or a little bit of all three, like I like to suggest, right? So you're actually taking advantage of the system. You're doing it from age 30 to 50 or 55. Why? For me, it's because those are your income earning years. The kids are at home. You have high debts. You want to accumulate as much money in there as you possibly can, take advantage of the growth and take advantage of the upfront tax break that you're going to get, and then maybe taper it off a little bit. In that whole time, you're obviously working with somebody, a trusted counsel who's going to educate you on other opportunities that might come available. and you'll be able to set yourself up in retirement to take higher risk investments opportunities on, right? So you're going to be looking at maybe, like I said, some real estate. You're going to be looking at some business opportunities. Maybe you're going to get involved in some stocks and things like that. Now, those are things that are actually outside of my wheelhouse, but that's the point. I want you to get informed, educated, and get the full picture so that you know what's available to you. So I hope this video made a difference for you and you got value out of it. If you liked it, please do click the like button, share it with your friends. Go over to my Facebook page at The Financial Makeover Specialist, where you'll see all kinds of other videos that will make a difference for you. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment below, or you can private message me if you want to keep it confidential. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Hope you're doing great. Take care.